Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you once again for joining us this year at the Landstar Fitford Road Health and Wellness Pavilion. We're glad everybody could come here. I'm Tom, otherwise known as Captain Kirk. I'm the founder and chief blogger for roadtestedliving.com. I am a professional driver for Stevens Transport, and I also am a Road Pro Driver Council member and ambassador. This is my good friend Jen Cordero. She is one of the people that run the Facebook group Cooking on the Truck. It's a great group where you can share ideas and exchange some recipes on there. And we're just here today to tell a little bit about our stories, do a little bit of some just quick demos of things you can fix on the truck in a matter of minutes. And really that's the whole theme of what we're trying to do this year, is things that you can make on the truck in a matter of minutes. Truck stops are great. You can use them for certain things, but a lot of drivers, because of the very diets that they have to have, from kosher, vegan, ketogenics, halal, you name it, it's out there. It's a lot easier for a lot of these drivers to cook on the truck. And to be perfectly honest, some of you may remember me last year. I was a little skinnier. Well, unfortunately, I got into the habit of eating into truck stops again, and the weight came back on. Yes, I know, Jen. She's one of my consciences. And my weight got back on. And yes, you can lose weight if you're really careful eating in a truck stop, but it's really easy to overeat and not pay attention. When I fix my own food, it's a lot easier to think about what I'm doing and make some better choices more easily. So we're just going to start off today with a really simple breakfast. You know, some turkey bacon and eggs. When it comes to bacon, you can use turkey bacon, you can use regular bacon. It all depends on who you talk to, which is better for you. So today we're using turkey bacon because it's what we have. And we've got a frying pan here that's preheated. This, for me personally, is probably my favorite cooking device for the truck, because I can do a lot of different things in it, but the reason I like it, it's fast. And with these new fancy ceramic coatings, the nice thing about them is the cleanup is a breeze. So we're just going to start off here with a couple of strips of bacon. And because of this is a non-stick surface, I actually don't have to go and put in a lot of oils or things like that. A couple of eggs. We're going to do a little bit of quick seasoning here, just some salt, pepper, and a generic seasoning blend as a salt-free seasoning. And actually, you know what? We're just going to do this today. And then the other, for me personally, is I like to take a little bit of water and just put it in here, because I like my eggs over hard. But this water is going to do something called basting them when we put the lid on there, and it's going to make a lighter, fluffier egg. And while that's cooking real quick, Jen's going to go over here and show her how she's going to start a quick dinner.
My favorite dinner, go-to dinner is called Southwest Chicken Alfredo. I pretty much just take a jar of salsa, pour it in. I use an aroma rice cooker. It's multifunctional. You can use it for frying up, stir fry, steaming, slow cooking. Lots of options. And I let that heat up, and I bring the salsa up. And while the salsa's heating, I add in cream cheese to make it creamy. And now that's going to take a few minutes while I wait for the salsa to come up.
Well, while she's working on that, I'm going to skip ahead. And I'm actually going to start one of my personal favorite go-to lunches / dinners. And basically I start off by taking a head of cabbage, peeling off the outer layer or two of leaves to get help get rid of the dirt. And what we're going to do now, and you can go ahead and buy the cabbage pre-sliced. If you go into the truck stop and they have a salad bar and you see cabbage on the salad bar, use it. There's nothing that says you can't. But what we're going to do is we're going to slice this into some thin strips, and this is going to become noodles. And you're looking at me going, Tom, you're insane. You're using cabbage for noodles. I never said I wasn't nuts. But a couple of years ago, when I was really cooking on the truck, I got looking at the fact that for me, if I cut back on the carbs and make better choices, what I like to call smart carbs, I can watch the calories, watch the carbs, and just overall do better. And I tried a few different things. I tried green beans. I tried a few different things to replace cabbage noodles, and they tasted great. They worked really well. But the thing I discovered worked the best was cabbage, because the fun about eating spaghetti is twirling the pasta. If you can't twirl it, it's not fun. You can twirl the cabbage. So anyways, we're going to do that. I'm guessing you're still heating on that one a little bit?
Yeah.
So, you know what, Jen? I'm going to be mean.
You're going to make me do.
Pico de gallo.
Okay. Pico de gallo. Easy to make. We all love it. Works well in lots of different various recipes. Do we got a bowl to put everything in?
Yes.
Okay. It's simply just cutting. Hello? Okay. It's simply just cutting up the tomatoes. I got tomatoes, jalapeno, onion, and a lime. The only thing for guacamole. Aren't the greatest. I apologize. As he mentioned, I work with my husband here. We run Cooking on the Truck. It's a group that was started by another member who unfortunately had to step down, and we took over. And our goal is to just introduce everybody to cooking and starting to cook on their trucks and learning how to cook.
I'm going to make a slight correction. It's not so much learning how to cook. It's more of realizing that things you do at home that you may use 6 or 7 pots for, an oven, a this and a that, you can do it on your truck with just 1 or 2 appliances. One of the probably, depending on who you talk to, probably one of the most popular appliances among people who cook on their trucks is the Aroma rice cooker. Because you can bake cakes in it, you can saute in it, you can steam in it, you can fry in it, you can pretty much do anything that you would do on this on your truck at home. You can do in this. I personally like the skillet a little bit better. It's just because of what I'm used to. When I go to cook, I instantly know how I want to set it. It works for me. This I have to stop and think, okay, which button did I have to press again? So for me, I like simplicity, so I go with simplicity. And basically, breakfast is just about done here. So as soon as I remember what I did with my breakfast tortilla, there we go, right next to me in plain sight. I'm so glad this wasn't a snake. And for those of you who thought you were coming here just for a cooking demo, yes, you get a free comedy show. It's not a good comedy show, but it is comedy. So now,
That smells good.
it really does.
That's my salsa too.
We're just going to warm that up here for a second. And while it's warming, I'm cheating and taking the bacon and putting it right in there. And I'm going to be very, very, very non-traditional. I'm using Parmesan cheese. You can use really any cheese you want. And why am I using Parmesan? It's what's on my table. We're going to add just a little bit of Parmesan. We're going to take the egg, add it. Turn that down. And the thing is, this is actually something I would do on the truck, and I have a very, a limited space like most people do. And yes, I'm making it look like you need a big, huge space, but it's just because we're trying to do too many things at once. But, I mean, in reality, and actually Saturday, are we being mean and making me cook in the narrow space?
Actually, I think we should.
So, for those of you who are wondering, tomorrow's demo, we're going to be focusing on cold foods. Today's on hot foods, cold foods. Saturday, I'm a glutton for punishment. We're doing what we call the cooking challenge, which means I get leftovers from today and tomorrow, a couple of mystery ingredients, 30 minutes, and they're going to tape off a section of the table. And I have to make at least one, if not two dishes for 4 people.
The reason why we're taping off a space is because in our trucks, we only have maybe a 12-inch by 12-inch space for most people to prepare with. A lot of times we've got to haul out another table to really get into doing some serious preps.
Wait, please. And now I remember why you like me doing all the chopping and slicing.
I got horrible knife skills.
And if I had been really smart, I would have left it on my cutting board before I sliced it. But here we go, folks. A nice, quick, simple breakfast wrap. As you can see, we probably did it in about, well, 10 minutes, give or take a little bit. And some of it was we were fooling around and goofing around a little bit. But I can make one of these on the truck in probably less than 10 minutes. And, you know, when you're trying to make a fast breakfast to get out on the road in the morning, I want to show you something here. We got that pan. Cleanup is essentially taking a dry paper towel, getting up the worst of the schmutz. Excuse me a second here. Dumping said schmutz. Heating my pan back up a little bit again, and we're going to put in some water and finish cleaning it out. We'll be ready to go for the next recipe. But there's number 1. And are you at a point now where you can show them a little bit more?
Yes. All right. Now that I got my salsa up to heated, boiling. Okay, I got my salsa's boiling now. I'll add my cream cheese in. It's usually easier to add it in smaller chunks, simply because you've got to let it dissolve. When I'm at home, when we're on the truck for the 2 of us, I'll use a whole thing of cream cheese to make it really creamy and cheesy, because I'll cook more than one meal, usually for about 2 meals. Get the idea. I add the cream cheese and stir it around until it starts melting down. And usually while this has been melting, I will have a bowl set on the side with my pasta in it, soaking in cold water. What that does is it starts the rehydration process for the pasta itself. So when I've added to here, it only takes another 5 or 10 minutes to make it soft in the heat and ready to go. I've done this dish in just under 35 minutes when I'm on the truck. That smells good, this salsa.
That salsa came all the way from Michigan?
Imported.
Yes. From that country up north, Michigan.
And considering we're in Texas.
We're not going there.
And this is just a matter of stirring it until the cream cheese dissolves. I'll show you quickly what it's starting to look like. I had a really bright red salsa in there. Now with the cream cheese, it's starting to pink out a little bit, making it really cheesy.
And the other thing you can also do is, if you like a creamy tomato sauce, like a tomato a la vodka without the vodka, that's a trick that you can do. If you like Alfredo sauce, heat up the cream cheese, instant Alfredo sauce. It doesn't taste quite the same, but hey, it works. But we're going to just add a little bit of olive oil. You really don't have to add the oil with a pan like this. I just like the flavor. And we've probably got about a teaspoon, give or take. You can use coconut oil, butter, whatever you prefer. And we're keeping this at a little lower heat because if you get olive oil too hot, it gets a little rancid. Now, you'll notice I have a bit of a confusing spice selection here, but I keep a selection of spices in a bag. And I do this for 2 reasons. The fleet that I work with, we have a small drop yard where a bunch of us guys have kind of chipped in on a grill. So a lot of nights when it's time to, if I have some extra time, I'll go start the charcoal grill up, grab my little bag of handy spices, go out and cook some meat, usually with a few friends, and we have a great little meal. And I carry some paprika, some chili powder, some salt, some pepper, a salt-free seasoning, and a little onion and garlic powder in there, and that's my emergency spice pack. But by the same token, if I'm going to fix something like this on the truck, this is basically the same basic seasoning I'm going to grab with one exception. Sorry, the Italian seasoning. So we're going to add just a little seasoning to this here, probably about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. You'll notice I use extremely precise measurements. Salt, that's up to you. If you're on a low sodium diet, you don't use salt. If you like a little salt, add a little salt. And let's see, I added that. We're going to add a little onion powder. Probably about a half teaspoon to give or take a little bit. About the same amount of garlic powder. You'll notice I'm using extremely precise measuring devices. I hate cleaning them up on the truck, I guess. And we're just going to give that a quick toss. That's going to kind of coat everything. I'm going to move away from the speaker so I stop squealing in your ears. And we're going to add a little bit of the salt-free seasoning just because I like the flavor. I'm cheap. I don't buy Mrs. Dash. There's a lot of generic seasonings out there that I think taste just as good. They cost a lot less money. And you find the salt-free blend that you like. We're going to cover this up for just a couple of minutes here and let that cook. And where are you at in your process?
Let it finish heat up. I'm going to add the chicken in. For the sake of time, we went with a pre-cooked chicken. Normally, I'll cook the chicken on the truck using fresh chicken breast and chicken thighs.
Or if you, let's say, get a whole chicken from the grocery store that's pre-cooked, you can take some for lunch or another meal. And that's something that a lot of us advocate is making more of something for later meals. And something that I like doing is maybe cooking up a roast, but then I'll use it for a soup or for a stew or scramble up with my eggs for breakfast. Different things like that. And that's one of the things when you're cooking on the truck, you kind of learn to overcook certain meals so other meals become easier later on. And which one I'll throw it in?
Some of that in the wrap?
Well, we're doing more spaghetti, so. But what now I've done is, as you can take a look here, that's probably about half, 3/4 of the way cooked. It's not quite al dente. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to throw in a couple of eggs. And you're looking at me going, why are you using eggs? And you're making something Parmesan. I told you I'm crazy. And really what it was is one day, I didn't have any meat on the truck. I wanted some protein. And I looked at my refrigerator and says, I've got a couple of eggs. I'll fry it up. I'll make some spaghetti. Yeah, it'll be okay. I was actually pleasantly surprised that it actually tasted good. And that's one of the things that, you get a lot of these little happy accidents. So I make now what I basically call cabbage and eggs Parmesan. You use your favorite spaghetti sauce, if you can open it. I like a sauce that has a little extra vegetable chunks in it. And what I'm doing is I'm keeping it really simple. I probably added about 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of sauce because I like my stuff a little saucy. But I just poured it in a strip over the spaghetti noodles, such as they are. And there. And you can really do this with any kind of, if you want to do it with pasta, you can cook a pasta in a batch, do that. You can use zucchini noodles, carrot noodles, eggplant noodles, any kind of veggie noodle that by using one of a half dozen different devices. You can use a vegetable peeler and cut it into strips, leave it into longer strips. You can use the vegettis, all these other fancy little gizmos. I tend to use either a mandolin or vegetable peeler to do it. Why? They're easier to clean up and they take up less space. I had a Vegetti on the truck. I liked what it did. I hated the cleanup. If you don't have running water, I drive truck, I don't have running water. It's hard to clean up.
Some trucks don't have running water.
I'm not Alan and Sierra. There's some good friends of ours that have the super sleeper with running water, so I can pick on them. They're not here. Now. Oh, wait. I'm in trouble tomorrow because she's emceeing, isn't she?
Yes.
No one tell Sierra I just made Al, that means you. I thought you were my friend. And we're going to let turn that heat up here just a little bit to make that cook a little bit quicker.
If you saw earlier, okay, there we go. I think I'm here.
Or not.
We lost my mic. I think I can.
There we go. Maybe.
Okay. There we go. Oh, there it goes.
Well, we're trying to figure out what's wrong with her mic. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, or expressions of joy? I take it that's a no. Well, that one egg ain't going to be pretty. It's going to be a pretty mess.
You like it hard anyway.
Yeah, well, that egg just becomes semi-scrambled. Oh, well, it works. Cover that back up for a second and grab a plate here. And you made a mess of my spatula, didn't you?
Well, this is the other spatula. I don't know what you give it yours.
Yep. They are both tomato-based. So what we're going to do here real quick, and actually this is what I want to show. This is just a simple little rice paddle. You can get them for $1 or $2 at a lot of different stores. If you buy a rice cooker, they come with it. The reason why I like it is I can do so many different things with it. I can toss, I can scoop, I can mix, and I like multitasking appliances. The more stuff that I can do with 1 or 2 small appliances on the truck, the happier that I am. Because I have very limited space. I don't have the room for a lot of kitchen gadgets. And believe me, I love kitchen gadgets. I see some of the vendors here with some of the gadgets that they have. And basically Al and Jen grab my arms and goes, run away, run away. And there's a really important thing you want to do. When you're taking the eggs out, don't put your hand on the pan. It doesn't feel good. That's your safety tip for today. Now we're just going to add a little spaghetti.
Parmesan?
Parmesan. Spaghetti, they're close. And there we go. Another quick, simple meal. And I actually timed this. We did it in 13 minutes. So that's an example of something you can do. And to help Jen out here, because we are running slightly over, I'm going to steal some of your pasta.
Go ahead. My pasta's actually almost ready to enter and drop into here now. Finally waiting for it to. Watch out. I was waiting for it to reboil. Now, after I added, after I added my chicken, you saw earlier, I added a little bit of water. That's just to help heat it because it's still got a boiled pasta. So it's a little liquidy now. Boiling, or it doesn't boil. My pasta here has been sitting in the water for about 45 minutes. And it's actually, if you look at it, I can actually break it, just crush it in my hand now. It's been soaking up enough water that it's almost ready. Mix it into the pumpkin sauce. Normally I just pour it in, but I don't want all this water in there either. Then you stir it in. You close that up and let it go for about another 5 or 10 minutes until the pasta's completely al dente.
And since her microphone's giving her trouble, she said she's going to go about another 5 to 10 minutes before it's completely al dente. And it looks like all the microphones have decided to give us trouble today. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I really want to thank you for coming today. I'm Tom Kirk from RoadTestedLiving.com. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter at RoadTestedLiving without the G. This is Jen Cordero. She is one of the people who run the Facebook group Cooking on the Truck. If you like more information or some simple recipe cards we have, please see one of us after today. Or sometime during the show, we'll be happy to set you up with that and information on the groups. So thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. We're going to finish up what we're cooking here real quick. If you'd like to come up and see, feel free. Unfortunately, because of Dallas health regulations, we're not allowed to give out samples. I apologize. We are trying to fix that for next year, but it is a very pain in the neck process, to put it mildly. So once again, everybody, thank you for coming. I think we have a question. The salsa? It's in here. She already put it in.
Oh, what? The pico.
The pico? Well, we're going to use that for garnish once that cooks.
We don't do that on our truck.
She likes me better than you, Al.
You're impatient, and as soon as the food's ready, you're like, feed me.
Like I said, you get a free floor show. Thank you once again, everybody, for coming. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Close up, right?
Beauty shot.
How are you doing today, Ella?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Smells good.
I'm glad.
I don't think we're not expected to do anything now.
Not that I know of. Nobody.
Okay. All right. She doesn't want to talk to you.
I can ask her. You asked me. I told nobody told me we're doing anything.
Because that's the joy of this stuff. You do stuff when the people tells you you're doing stuff.
Let you know, I'll tell everybody.
That's why he's making me do it all. He's the owner of the group, and I'm going to
I'm confused as you
talk
know.
to everybody.
Come on up, Al. You can talk. We'll let you talk. Talk.
You're gonna sit there.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I enjoyed your presentation. I'm Greg with Landline. I
Nice
just
to
want
meet
to
you,
get
Greg.
your name, man.
Jennifer, you remember everything?
I got
He forgets plug me.
Road test living.
Yes.
You guys have no idea your
Do
you want to clear
I
this
think
now?
we have to renew.
You can renew here for a discount, $25.
Sorry.
We'll do that tomorrow.